Love and peace. This is Robin from Shine Your Light 777. And it is late night, early hours, depending on where you're at. And I am having many thoughts. Not sure if they're downloads or uploads, or I'm being inspired to share some ideas from some experiences that I've been having. However, I didn't want the thoughts to go to waste, just in the event that it actually could assist somebody. So I'm making this video, and I was going back and forth whether I should do a live video or just do this video. But I decided to do this video and just upload it. So there's a lot of thoughts. I'm not really sure where to begin, so just bear with me if I feel like, or if I look like, or sound like I'm all over the place. We're in April of 2020. Excuse me, it's actually 4:11. Like I said, in the AM hours. And there's a lot taking place in the world in terms of the epidemic, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it. And although that's like primarily on a lot of people's minds right now, that's not really what's on my mind or what's resonating with me or the energy that I'm picking up on. A lot of the energy that I'm picking up on has to do with the evolution of us as a people, men, women, and there's a vibration of letting go, of moving forward, of forgiveness, of facing yourself, dealing with any baggage or any ideas that you need closure, any past hurt, any pain that you might still be carrying that you don't realize it. This is the time to lend our attention and energy towards really letting that go, with what's taking place universally with the planets. It is the ideal time for us to be able to do that. I think today is the last day of the full moon. The full moon energy is very productive in this idea, as well as the new moon as well. If you don't already, I recommend that you check out the different phases of the moon and see what takes place or how we're affected, what energy is being emitted from the moon at the different phases of the moon. Right now, my thoughts are not geared towards the particulars of that. Otherwise, I would freely share it with you. However, it is resonating as being valuable, so I'm directing you or encouraging you to do a little research on your own. However, it's very important that we focus on self-healing. It can be very challenging to be real with yourself and identify some things that you need to give attention to or you need to change. And excuse me, because I may come across as being a little emotional. However, it's the way that I'm able to balance out the energy that I feel, and communicating the ideas that I'm being inspired to share. So willfully it doesn't interfere with the communications that I'll be sharing. However, it's very important that we take this time of being in our homes, being with our families, spending time with ourselves to actually take the most or maximize on this so that it would benefit us the most. And it's important to really do some self-reflection, really see what it is that requires our attention. It's almost like spring cleaning. However, it's spiritual spring cleaning. Doing some check-ins and seeing, have we been experiencing any triggers? Are there any experiences that we've had that have produced an emotional response that may seem out of place? Like, the situation was fairly simple, but we may have gotten very angry, or very sad, or taken things very personally in an interaction with someone. And may have realized that it was a little bit much, for the situation, for the circumstances of the situation. That is a trigger. That is a indicator that there is something there that requires our attention. And we should go ahead and do the work. We should go ahead and investigate. I do have a video that will be posted on YouTube. It's currently on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page. And actually, I think I uploaded it to the Shiny Light 777 Facebook page as well. The idea of really recognizing, exploring our thoughts, our thinking, what takes place when a situation happens. How do we respond to it? What thoughts come up? What thoughts do we respond to? What thoughts do we give power to? Do we find ourselves operating in a victim state of mind? Do we find ourselves operating in a defensive state of mind? Do we go in warrior mode? Do we go in woe is me? How do we respond when things come up? Once we identify that, then we have to ask ourselves, have we always responded that way? Has that always been my thought pattern? And if we can identify no, then we have to go back in time and identify, where did it begin? Was there a situation? Was there a person? Was it something I witnessed? What was it? A trauma? And then get to the bottom of that. And then we have to acknowledge it and identify it for what it is. And allow ourselves to be free of whatever emotion came along with that experience, and let it go. Transmute that energy into positive energy, and look to see the silver lining in it. Look to see what you benefited from it, how you grew from it, how it served you, how you see it prepared you for something down the line. Now that you have a greater understanding, now you can make peace with it and let it go. And then that pattern of thought that you have been operating in for however long, now you're freeing yourself of that. And then you can move forward with developing into a more positive thought pattern that is now replacing the old rhythm of thought. So you'll get to experience more freedom, more happiness, more joy, more peace of mind, and you'll attract more to you of that which you've been wanting, but you feel like it was always outside of your reach. It was always too far away, or, you couldn't figure out how to accomplish it or how to achieve it. Now things will become more clear. So that is the energy that I'm picking up on at this time, that we need to really focus on. We don't need to be watching the news every day. We don't need to be giving the power to all of what's taking place that produces fear. Yes, a lot of this is unknown. However, we have to know and trust that the Creator has it. The Creator is the author of all of this. And the Creator either does a thing or permits it to be done. So if it's being permitted to be done, we have to look for the reason why it's being permitted that will magnify life, that will assist us in being closer to our purpose, our calling, our higher path and purpose. So that's one thought and a recommendation that I have for whomever will listen. And I'm also sharing this now, that these ideas and messages, they are timeless. So whenever you listen and this resonates, it is the time for you. So don't get caught up on the time frame that I shared earlier that we're in concerning what's taking place physically in the world. Another idea that is resonating with me that I think goes hand in hand with, once you've established that rhythm and you've gotten to that point, is the necessity for us to do what resonates with us. And I say that for a couple different reasons. One of which is that there are many of us that have ideas, goals or plans or business related ideas that we have the will to explore. However, depending on who you have around you, you may be sharing your vision with them and they don't see your vision. They may share, that's ridiculous, or, why would you want to do that? That's not going to make you any money, or people aren't going to want to do that, or people aren't even going to understand that, or whatever it is that they're saying that is not supporting the dream or the vision that you have. what's resonating with me is to express and feed your spirit the necessity for you to respond to what resonates with you, regardless of what anybody else says or does. And I know from my own personal experience, I had realized that in the vision that was given to me, that because of the way that I was thinking about it, I wasn't really allowing myself to see the magnitude of what could be produced from me responding to what speaks to me. And once I realized that, it really caused me to have a unique experience to see that the reality is that the limitations that we experience, we really place them on ourselves. And an example that I gave, or the idea that I gave pertaining to what I'm picking up, is that we allow others to place limitations on us. Sometimes, like my example, it comes from our own selves, the limitations we place on us. And then other times, it's limitations that we allow others to put on us from their opinions. And it's great to check your thoughts with someone else and to bounce ideas and see what they think, especially when what you're going to do is going to involve other people. You kind of want to get a consensus, get a feel for things. However, you never want to take what others are saying as the end all be all, and that be the determining factor on the decisions that you make when what you're experiencing is saying something completely different. So a lot of people in the world speak about gut feelings and your intuition. Others who are more enlightened on this journey speak about your higher self, or your angels, or your spirit guides. We're always being guided, whether it be by signs, whether it be that gut feeling, whether it be the angels or your spirit guides, to respond to what has been placed in us from the Creator. So it is the time where we should freely respond. And I know from experience, sometimes responding can be, it can be a little it can produce nervousness in you. It can be a little nerve-wracking because sometimes what speaks to you is so far out of the box that you're unsure if you should do that. Because of how far out of the box it is. Or sometimes you're confident that you should do it, however, you're not sure how to do it. So it causes you to be a little unsettled, or maybe even entertain a little doubt. However, I'm encouraging that whatever it is that is speaking to you to do, that you do that. You respond to that. If it is that it is out of the box, it'll make sense. As you go into motion to do it, you'll see why you are being encouraged to do that. And then you'll see the benefit that it yields in you doing that. So that's the second idea, really being free to respond to what speaks to us, and not allowing someone else's thoughts or judgment to interfere with us responding to who we are, because we're all different expressions. We're all different entities. So what resonates with me is not going to resonate with you. Just like as many different readers, as many different readers, as many different people who's like tapped into the unseen, as tapped into the universal energy, they may not have the same message that I have. It doesn't mean that their message didn't come from the same source. Doesn't mean my message didn't come from the same source. It just means that I was the vessel utilized for this message. They were the vessel utilized for that message. And they responded. So the ones that listen and it resonates with them, they get what they need. I'm responding, so the ones that listen and resonates, then you all are gonna get what you need. So just be free, just be free, and don't entertain or accept fear, and most certainly don't entertain or accept doubt. It's okay to be nervous. The unknown automatically produces a certain amount of nervousness. A little nervousness is healthy. It is when we allow the nervousness to consume us, because that in actuality is fear. When nervousness consumes us, that means that fear has set in. So let's be sure that we cancel fear, we cancel out extreme nervousness, we cancel out doubt, and we move on what speaks to us so that we can bear witness to the power of the unseen. Another idea is, and I said this, but I kind of want to highlight this a little bit, is the importance of not allowing somebody to stifle you being you. And I'm saying this, or I'm reiterating this, because, many of us are free spirits. We respond to the vibration of a thing. We respond to what feels right in the moment. We respond to what doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, we won't go somewhere because it didn't feel right. Or we'll freely embrace an experience regardless of how it looks on the physical realm, because energetically it feels right. And I've realized that there are a lot of people who judge expressions like that are free and responding to the energy, respond to the opportunity. They say some opportunities come once in a lifetime. And with some people who are like free spirited, I always thought of myself as like a butterfly. I have a very free spirit, and not very much like weighed me down. So I was able to interact in such a way where I took advantage of opportunities when they were presented. And because some opportunities only come once in a lifetime, you just never know what you're to experience from the opportunity. And sometimes in being that free spirit and having those experiences, sometimes we learn, or we learn the lesson, or we receive what we're to receive. However, because we're still in the physical realm, they come with physical experiences that are not always the best, that mentally and physically we have to work through. Spiritually, we're straight. Like, spiritually, we get it. We receive what we needed. However, either emotionally or mentally or physically, we have to like work through it, because the spiritual moves so fast and the physical is so slow. It takes time for them to meet and catch up and balance out. And while we're going through that process, we're still like interacting with other people who may not be the same kind of free spirit that we are, that doesn't understand why we do what we do. So not only do we have to work through the gaining the balance, however, we also have to work through dealing with the judgment of those that are around us. And for anyone that can relate to this, that may be experiencing this or has experienced it in the past or will experience it in the future, I want to share that I can relate and I understand, and that I know that the path is not always the easiest. However, it is always worth it. So when you find yourself fully embracing an opportunity, and then after the opportunity has passed, you find yourself having to gain the balance, it is okay. It is all right for you to feel whatever you need to feel in that moment. It's okay for you to freely express whatever emotions you may have, whether they're anger or disappointment or sadness or pain or hurt. It's okay. It's all right to freely express that. And then when it comes to ones that are watching on, that are judging you, stand in your truth. Don't compromise. Don't belittle whatever it is that you gained in the experience. You stand in your truth, because only you know why it was permitted to take place. Only you know what you gained from it. Nobody else knows, because they're not in your shoes. Maybe the other person or people that were involved in the experience will be able to relate on a level that you could. However, nobody else can. So do not allow someone else's limited sight or their inability to tap in energetically or spiritually to understand what you were going through or are going through, to lessen the reality that you know. Especially when it's somebody that we love, when we care about and we respect, and they may or may not be affected by watching us go through the process of the physical and the spiritual catching up. Most of us are empaths. We can take that on. Or you can just be a sympathetic person, or you could just be someone who really loves your people, whether it be your family or your friends, those that are in your circle, and you don't want anyone to be affected by something that you're going through. However, that's not for you to take on. That's not for you. That's something that they have to deal with. So I am reaffirming standing in your truth. Whatever experience that you are having, know that it is real, and know that any understanding that is needed, it will come, because understanding is the last to come. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Understanding is the last to come. So just be patient with yourself. Be patient and know that the unseen has you. Your spirit guides, the angels, the scientists, the creator, the universe is all backing and supporting you on your path to being who you are. So willfully that resonates. If it doesn't, so be it. However, for those that it resonates, I will that it assist you. Another idea that resonates with me as well is the importance of the relationships between masculine energy and feminine energy. I know there's a lot of things that have been put out that have caused us as masculine and feminine energy to feel as though we can do without each other. However, in returning to the natural order of things, returning to nature, it is important for us to know that there is a balance to everything in life. There's light, there's dark, there's hot, there's cold, there's day, there's night. I think I might have said it already, but excuse me. There's yin, there's yang, there's man, there's woman. It's important for us to know that. And I'm trying to really process how to convey the energy that I'm picking up, because the need for the balance between masculine and feminine energy, this is the best time for us to start the process of that, which is why it's so important for us to do the work, for us to work on healing and giving attention to the things that require our attention, so that when we come into the opportunity to experience the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the yin and the yang, then we're able to take full advantage of it and continue to move forward, not where we fall backwards or find ourselves repeating an old cycle. Most certainly, I can get to many principles concerning the man being independent, the woman being dependent, the man being the carrier of the seed, the woman being the magnifier of the seed, and how everything just fits so perfectly for us to come together and be one. However, I really want to speak about it from an energetic standpoint. We all need balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can go through this life day to day, handling, hustling, grinding, working hard, studying, climbing up that ladder. However, there will always be a void if you do not have a masculine or a feminine energy to bounce ideas off of, to share in the happiness, to celebrate success, to explore ideas that will further perpetuate whatever path or purpose that you're on at that time. I think women experience it a little bit more than men. I could be wrong because I'm not a man. However, I think because we are the dependent, we do experience it a little bit more, or I'll say the feminine energy, we do experience it a little bit more than the masculine energy, because by nature the masculine energy is independent. However, there's supposed to be a reflection that the masculine energy experiences from the feminine energy that they don't, that causes them to be able to experience the void as well. And then sometimes just having a softer expression around or the softer expression around being missing is enough to cause the masculine energy to fill the void as well. And I'm saying this way because I don't necessarily want to say it in a way where like you have to be in a relationship to experience this. However, sometimes we come across people on our journey for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And a lot of times we focus on the lifetime. we want to be in a relationship, you know, we want to be wifed up, we want to be, you know, hugged up, booed up. However, sometimes we come across people in our path that are of the opposite energy to assist in giving us balance with what it is that we're going through. And some of us are mature enough on our journey to realize that everybody that we encounter that assists us in that manner is not somebody that we're supposed to be with. Is it developing a relationship and a connection? Absolutely. Does that mean that now we have to get married? No. Does it mean that we have to be in a committed relationship? No. Does it mean that we even have to have any physical encounter in terms of intimacy physically? No, it doesn't. We could experience what we need to experience from each other for balance mentally, spiritually, or emotionally. Especially with those of us that are going through the journey to heal. Sometimes we need that polar opposite, that opposite energy of masculine or feminine to assist us, to catapult us to the next level, or to solidify the healing that took place on the level that we were on. So I'm encouraging us all to be alert, to be attentive of the interactions that you have, the people you meet. You never know if this person is being sent to you for the reason of aiding you in acquiring balance or establishing balance, especially if you're calling out for it, especially if you know that you're speaking to the unseen, or the situations that you're having is showing a necessity for it. You know, when we're doing what we're supposed to do, that the universe responds, the creator responds, and everything is already set up for our highest good. So all we have to do is be attentive and pay attention to the signs when they present themselves. So, you know, be mature in your thinking that every man or every woman you meet don't mean they trying to get with you. You know, every man or woman you meet don't mean you got to try to get with them. Get to know them and see what it is that is in them is available to assist you on your journey, and not in a manner where you trying to like energetically drain them, or you know, be some energetic vampire, or use them as some, you know, use them for some type of tool, you know, to make you feel better about yourself, or you know, because we have some people that emotionally use and abuse people. You know, you're growing and you're going through things and you want to beat up on somebody, or you end up damaging somebody in the process of your healing. So I'm most certainly not speaking about that. So I want to make sure that that is clear for the record. I'm speaking about those of us that are spiritually mature, energetically mature, emotionally mature, and you're able to identify and realize that you need a counterpart. You need that opposite energy, and you may realize that you're not ready for a relationship. You may not have encountered anybody that you can see you spending the rest of your life with, or even exploring such an idea. However, balance is still needed. You know what I mean? You still need to acquire balance. So, you know, pay attention to those that are around, pay attention to those that you meet, because you just never know. You know, I just want to be sure that that's put out there. That's a thought that's resonated with me as well, because our prayers, or our prayers or our requests, they are answered all the time, and we miss them more than we realize. If you're someone that you have experienced an energetic experience, or you know, an emotional experience with someone, you felt connected and you didn't treat the connection properly, or you feel like you misused or abused it, it's resonating with me to let you know, like, don't carry any guilt. You know, let that go. You know, when we know better, we do better. So you realize how you handled it and it wasn't the best. If you have the opportunity to go back and correct it, then most certainly do that. If you don't have those kinds of circumstances, then be sure that the lesson that you learned from that situation and how you handled it, you carry it forward. You move forward with it. You mend it to yourself and you live it in any given situation moving forward, so that you don't repeat the same mistake, squandering the opportunity while damaging or potentially damaging someone in the process of that. So yeah, I mean, those are the ideas that was resonating with me. I feel like there was many more. However, those are the ones that's coming to my mind right now. I'm just trying to scan my thoughts and see if there was anything else that I should share. Love yourself, you know. Be patient with yourself. Nurture yourself. I know I'm a very nurturing expression. I really show my love by acts of service. And I like to do, and take care of those that I love. However, I'm in a place where that love that I give to others, I have to give to myself. And in me giving it to myself and knowing what that looks like, then I'll know without a shadow of a doubt, what is to look like coming from my masculine counterpart when the time is right. In the meantime, I'm doing the work and I'm preparing myself for, my twin flame, my soulmate, whoever he may be. Even if it's, somebody that is to be in my life for a reason or a season. I want to be sure that I'm in the best position to receive and to reciprocate what is needed in ensuring that the balance is there. Excuse me. So self-love is definitely important. If you're a person that takes Epsom salt baths, if you're a person that meditates, if you're a person that prays, if you're a person that sits still, I know some people chant. Whatever it is that you do to be at your place of peace, make sure you do that. I know I love going to the water. I connect. I'm able to get balance. I'm able to let go of anything that may have been weighing me down, whether it be energetically or mentally. I'm able to think clearer being at the water. So that's my go-to place. However, I'm not always able to go because, life can be busy sometimes. However, I have to be sure that I make the time to do the things that I know help me stay balanced and grounded. So I'm encouraging, if you don't already know, to explore, to pay attention. When are you most at peace? What do you enjoy doing that brings you the most happiness? And if you do know what it is, then make sure you do it as often as possible. Epsom salt baths are most certainly always encouraged and recommended because you can always make time to take a 20-minute bath. I mean, you can be making phone calls. You can be listening to a podcast. You can be doing a little studying. You can do it first thing in the morning. You can do it before you go to bed. You can do it during the children's nap. I mean, you can always make time to take a 20-minute bath with Epsom salt, with the water as hot as you could stand it. You can even put some essential oils in there, burn your candles, turn on your slow jams, or put on some jazz music, or put on some tone, some healing tone. Do some energetic work on your inner child, clear your chakras, balance your chakras, work on, accepting higher vibrations, work on releasing lower vibrations. There's so much that you can do while you're in this tub that there's no reason why you should not get in the tub. Like, you have no excuse. So if you're one that's giving yourself excuses, refrain from giving yourself excuses and get in that Epsom salt bath. You'll thank yourself later. So yes, whatever it is that you need to do to ensure that self-love is there, make sure you do that. Manicure, pedicure, do your eyebrows, do your hair. Wear that pretty nightgown. Brothers, wear those, your special boxers. Put on that good cologne. Whatever, buy yourself something nice. Like, whatever it is that you need to do, make sure you're doing that and doing it freely without any guilt. Do it with the idea in mind that you are doing what needs to be done for self. The first law of nature is self-preservation. You are living the first law of nature, and your future self is going to thank you for it. The doors are going to open up, opportunities are going to present themselves to you because you are aligning yourself with your purpose and you're elevating your vibration, by doing these simple things. The universe will respond. It has to respond. Your spirit guides or your angels or the hierarchy or the scientists or however you identify them, they will respond as well. The universe, the creator, everybody, every positive energy that lends itself to magnifying life will respond. All you have to do is do. So with that being said, I appreciate you for tuning in. For anyone that's listened all the way to the completion of this, I thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am most humbled and appreciative that you have taken the time and you've seen it worthy enough to listen. It is my will that it serves you, that you're able to tangibly do something with the ideas that have been shared. It's my will that they resonate with you and they aid you to become closer to who you are and shining your light, because that's what's needed, especially with the transition that's taking place. We've been in darkness for far too long. It's time for us to be in the light, and we all have a part in the plan to magnify the specific light that we are, meaning that your light is not like anybody else's light. We're not so special that we can't be replaced. However, we are special and unique enough that we've been allowed or selected or chosen to be here at this time to respond to the call and to assist others that have the will to shine their light as well. So on that note, I will say, or I will ask that you like this video, subscribe to the channel so you can be updated on any other videos when they come out. Hit the little bell thing so the bell will go off so you'll get the notification. We're also on Facebook at Shine Your Light 777. And enjoy the rest of this beautiful day or evening whenever you find yourself watching this. And love and peace from Robbie at Shine Your Light.